first, I'm going to go live to the trading desk. Victor Adair waiting for me there. Victor, interesting talking to Don Violo earlier, talking about, how poised it is when you look at the broad indexes like the Dow Jones, et cetera, very close to those March, breaking those March lows. And that would be significant, I think.
Yeah, the market's really developed a bit of a risk-off tone here, certainly since the all-time highs we made at the beginning of March. All kinds of reasons for the market to be a little nervous, geopolitical worries, just another way of saying Korea. Trumpflation, the market had an incredible run-up from the election, the beginning of March. I think the Dow was up about 3,000 points. That's about 16%. I think there might have been, even though wildest bulls might have said, well, maybe we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here. So that, the sense that the old sell in May and go away was coming in. And then, any number of other worries, but certainly the trend from the beginning of March has been a little lower. We've had the Dow, the S&P 500 drop down about 3% since those highs. We've got our lowest close in 2 months. And last week on the show, I was saying a real important date to me was the lows that we made on March the 27th. And the market bounced from then. And if we roll over now, and if we take out those lows, then my quote last week was, look out below. I have to tell you, the New York Stock Exchange Composite Index, that's all of the stocks that trade on the NYSE, that index did break below the March 27th lows just here on Thursday.
My goodness, I look at that geopolitical stuff you're talking about, that monster bomb dropped in Afghanistan. You got the Korea stuff going on with both China and the U.S. talking on that.
Right.
You said the Syrian airstrikes. You got the French election. Oh, my goodness gracious, eh?
Yeah, there's any number of reasons for the market to be nervous, and the journalists and the what do they call it, Saturday afternoon armchair analysts. Once they kind of have seen what has happened, they can always say, "Well, that was because blah blah blah."
Yeah.
But I really look at what I call sentiment flows in the market, particularly when I see a number of markets all make a turn on a certain date. So March 27th, we had a low for the U.S. dollar, for the stock market, and for WTI, the crude oil, and we had some highs on that day for gold and bonds. Kind of stands to reason. Sometimes markets have a relationship one with the other. I'm just saying right now what I have done this past week is to get short of the stock market. I'll look across individual stocks, Ford Motor Company, General Motor Company, breaking to new lows here for the move. All of the major banks in the United States have turned lower. We've had the Canadian banks also make some highs, start to come off a little bit. I don't think we're falling to zero, Mike. That's not what I'm talking about here. I just think this huge bullish rush that we had higher following the election is kind of running out of steam a bit with good reason, and I think the market could fall back a bit here.
I think that's great advice, and one I think I agree. I think it's, at least as we started with Neil McIver saying, you could rebalance your portfolio right now. Don Violo, there's caution in certain markets, and you hear it with Victor Adair. Victor, thanks so much. Go out and have a terrific weekend.
Thanks, Mike, and happy Easter to you and your family.
Thanks very much.